Weird. So I'm going to run through a few things today. It's going to be interactive with a couple of role plays. I'm going to take volunteers, or I'll volunteer people myself.
I want 3
Usually a
volunteers,
fun way.
you and you.
Huh?
I want 3 volunteers, you,
Exactly,
you and you.
exactly. Don't raise your hand if you want to volunteer. But I wanted to spend some time talking about the sales cycle, right? Because this is what we do in this class. It's really the skills building in the sales cycle. And whether you realize it or not, you have a sales cycle. Everything that you've seen already through the introductions, through the brochure that you use, through the language and the scripts that they give you, and everything you've learned so far, that is your sales cycle. So we're going to create it and make it a little bit more feasible for you to learn, create videos in each step of the sales cycle so you can go back to it and know where you are, because the difference between somebody who's really good and what it is that we do is always knowing where they are in the sales cycle. And you're going to learn it to be able to come in and out of it as good as you can at any time, because as you've noticed, the scripts that we give you guys don't always play out like that, right? Has anybody delivered a script and then got cut off by a client?
Yes.
Right? Say, I don't want to hear that. It happens all the time, right? So when you do it in a classroom situation, it has to be black and white. Why does it have to be black and white? Because you have to learn it, right? It's where you're going to get good at it. And when you learn it black and white, it gives you the ability then, Carl, to be able to step in and out of it when somebody does throw a wrench in the works, or somebody, David, does ask you a question to say, and throws you off it. And if you don't know it well enough, and you don't know your sales cycle and your tracks well enough, that's when you get all confused. And when somebody says that to you, has anybody got a little flustered and not know what to say or know where to go yet?
Yes, sure.
Yes,
Right? So the whole point of these classes, and what Jeff's going to be doing on Wednesday with you guys, is really learning the sales system and the sales cycle and the language inside of that cycle. And to me, the sales cycle, you can really break it down into 7 different steps. We're going to try and break it down as best we can to have each step individually done as scripted and videoed for you so you know where you are in the sales cycle. So the sales cycle is basically hello to what's my follow-up when they're a client, to be able to do reviews and everything as you go through it. So it's really the whole cycle as you go through, from hello to things as we make a sale and take somebody through the process. So where I'm going to touch on today is really, we're going to go up to here. So I'm going to talk about bonding and rapport, upfront contracts, and then pay. So let's talk about each part of the sales cycle individually as we start here. The first part is bonding and rapport. People are going to buy from you because of what?
They know you, like you, and trust you.
Trust and competence and capability to be able to do it. So if there's bonding and rapport that you can speed up or get better as you go through the system, what's going to happen?
It's going to happen faster.
Yeah, because you're relationship building at this point, right?
Right.
Any of you have ever heard me talk, in my mind, we're all professional relationship builders. That's our job, right, David? If we have enough significant relationships, Wyatt, we'll never have to worry about business. Our jobs at the beginning is when we're growing the career, George, is to be a professional relationship builder. That's prospecting today. Now, we talked about growing a business plan and the many ways to be able to build those relationships, but we've got to find a way and know what to say when we get to somebody to speed up building that relationship. Because if we're dealing with people that we don't have a relationship with, those are a level 3, right? You guys have heard me talk about levels 1, 2, and 3. Those are level 3. We've got to get those 3s to a 1 as quick as we can. And that's relationship building. So the bonding and rapport section becomes important because we want to speed up that relationship. So today I'm going to show you a little bit about what I say when I role play with when I'm at a networking event, what I say to people, what kind of things that I use to keep in control of the sales process when we're using bonding and rapport. UFC, which stands for upfront contract. Every step of a selling process should have an upfront contract. Anybody take a guess what an upfront contract is? Take a guess, Don.
An
So-
agreement
so
for, you-
You got say it again.
the agreement for the next step?
That's it, the agreement.
For
Oh,
the
that
next
step,
step,
right?
yeah.
So it's always an upfront contract. So what it does, an upfront contract will eliminate mutual mystification. Why are we here? What are we doing? How long is it going to take? What's on the agenda? So we always have an upfront contract, and when you have an upfront contract, both parties to that upfront contract should have no mystification of what's being said for it as well. And every step of the sales process, all the language around that should always have an upfront contract. Then I'll take you into pain. How do we find pain? If there's no pain, there's no sale. You really have to dig deep to find somebody's pain. And I'll show you how to use the capabilities brochure to really find pain, especially when we get to the 4 cornerstones of how to kind of story sell, to be able to bring top of mind awareness what people could be thinking about. Because remember, the hardest thing about our job is this stuff is not bought, it's sold. Right? There's no line when you walked into the building today to come in and buy life insurance from you guys, right? There's no line out the door to say, hey, here's $1 million, Carl, can you invest it for me? It doesn't happen. So it's not bought, it's sold. And it's up to you as being a good salesperson and a financial advisor to be able to identify and get somebody to think top of mind awareness of what is that pain, because if there's no pain, there's no sale. So I'll show you some questioning strategies of how to find pain with people. Once you've found the pain, how do you establish a budget? Anybody ever delivered an illustration to somebody where you don't know what premium to show somebody?
Yes.
Yes.
Why does that happen?
Because you're afraid they may not be able to afford it.
Yeah, you have your head trash, right? So you're running the illustrations and I'm like, oh, this is $500 a month. Should I show them this? Or should I show them the $100 a month? To be safe, because you don't want to scare them, but maybe $100 a month you know is not right. You've not had a good budget step. So I'll show you as we go through this, and we create a video on the language to create a good budget step. So throughout the whole time, there's no guessing about where somebody's mind is, where they want to fix the pain, and the money that they have to fix that pain. Because if they have no money, guess what? They don't qualify for your time.
Exactly.
Who are the decision makers? We need to find out as salespeople in the sales cycle who makes the decisions. If we're working with business owners, we need to know if there's anybody else, if there's another partner, that if it comes to making important financial decisions, who's involved in those decisions. The last thing you want to do is deliver a whole presentation to somebody and then they say to you, I got to check with my partner. Or if you're dealing with a husband-wife and you're just speaking to the wife, and the wife will then say, I've got to check with my husband. So you want to make sure you have a good decision step process to make it as you go through. The fulfillment is how we deliver what it is that we promised to work on. So the fulfillment is actually delivering the plan, whether it's a full plan or you go microeconomic and you do with one specific thing at a time. And then the post-sale is having them sell it back to you and setting expectations for future follow-up and client development. I'll show you guys how to get a client development system that will really make reviews a lot more meaningful than just going with an in-force ledger and reviewing your in-force policies. A lot of that comes from the budget decision where we have a future money commitment and a future money talk inside of it as well. So as you can see, there's a lot that goes into the sales cycle, but basically there's 7 steps, and we're going to break down each step for you to be able to master it and know where you are in the step, and more importantly, David, be in control of where it is that you do. And if you put the time, energy, and effort into learning this, and the language and the scripts that we're going to give you, you won't have that feeling of when somebody, that feeling of when somebody asks you something or goes off your script, of the uncomfortableness to be able to go in and out of the process as you go through it. So I wanted to take the first part, is bonding and rapport.